Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be finishing off the narration and character voicing for the main story of Arknights, episode 10, Shatterpoint. And yes, considering this is gonna be the finale, several things will be included in these as per usual, from the battle stage with the final opponent, and obviously I will voice my thoughts, opinions, just talk in general about the characters at the end of this story, or rather at the end of this part. And the EP that was released all the way back when this went live for the first time will also be at the very end of the episode itself. In other news, I did open up a Discord for the community if you want to join it. Link is in the description of the video. Together with the link for the EP I just mentioned, the EP should be at the top, the Discord link should be at the bottom, together with the Twitch link that is always there. And of course, before we begin, I will do a quick little recap of the previous part. No time skip this time in the description of the video. But before we begin with the recap, thank you very much for the likes on the previous part. So let's get into this. Alright, so we have several parts moving here at the end, as we've seen at the end of the previous part of this narration. First off, we have Manfred, who has ordered the bombardment of the plates above the rebel hideout, and the rebels themselves, together with Rhode Island, have split into several smaller or bigger groups, however you want to look at it. We have the group with Amia, the Doctor, Closure, and Feist, who are going towards Manfred on the wall to stop him from bombarding Londinium itself. Then we have the group with Siege, that is underground together with the rest of the rebels, trying to get civilians and equipment out as fast as possible, who are also being pursued by the very sanguine arc that is being mentioned in pretty much every single enemy description on this stage, at least when it comes to the Sarka side of things and the creepy crawlers. Outside of that, we have a third group consisting of Rock and several resistance fighters who are essentially trying to secure a train for the escape of everybody who is trying to evacuate from the underground. Then we have somewhere in the city W, who is a bit MIA now after the conflict with Hoarder and where Ascalon appeared. We saw Hoarder meet up with Ines, and yes, this was the episode where we first got the confirmation that, well, this was the very episode where we got bamboozled, or rather, the story was trying to bamboozle us that Hoarder has killed Ines, and then later, just literally around the corner of that sentence was, hey, there she is. But yeah, the two of them met up, got cornered by Confessari, and who immediately got his shit kicked in by Ascalon. Then we have Misery, who is also on his mission throughout the city, but most importantly, he saved a couple of people once again, but at the same time, he was there when either Mandragora died or just passed out there on the ground after she confronted Manfred. That one is the ambiguous part of this story of, is she alive or is she dead? Will she reappear? Did Misery took her in? What happened? We do not know. And by the way, whoever does know anything, please, no spoils, of course. But anyway, that is pretty much when it comes to the moving parts, so let's begin in today's part. So first off, we will obviously begin with the story completely around stage 17. Once we are done with this completely, we will stop by into our little booklet, because since last time I have finished up all of the adverse environment stages, or rather the hard mode stages of this very same thing, together with the hell mode stuff. So there is a couple of extra entries now in our little book up there, and God, I will just say this one sucks. Anyway, like I said, we'll begin on stage 17. We will then go to the book, and then we will end with the 2 epilogues that we see right here. And after that, you know what's happened. You know the drill. So, let's begin. Stage 17. A citadel and its walls. Victoria's child is braced against this land, and still, though riven and worn, it has not yet fallen. One quick little thing before we go in. There will be several interesting things happening. I will not try to deviate too much from the narration during this part. Just gonna keep it to the narration as much as possible. I will say, however, there will be several sound effects that play during this whole bit. Not just the before story, but after story and several other places. And none of those are added. If you've never heard this, they are all in-game sound effects, and you'll see what I mean by that. But there is also gonna be a bit, and I'm gonna point that one out, not during the narration, but once we are completely done with the story. And that little bit is surrounding the doctor during a certain section, and well, if you're gonna pay even little attention to the screen, you're gonna notice it. So let's begin. So you're here, Manfred? It seems the Sanguinarch will be greatly disappointed. He detests dark damp places the most, yet went into the rebels' subterranean nest to seize you personally. He must surely have caught up to your friends by now. One wonders if the cries from underground will carry so far up this tower. You wicked devil. No, I don't admire his methods whatsoever. The rebels who die to my cannon fire are far luckier than the ones suffering his torment. You're both just the same. In my eyes, in your eyes, maybe so. Whenever you use devil as such to refer to us all, it shows that fear and hatred have long clouded your eyes. The Victorians regard the Sarkas as a collective of barbarians reveling in slaughter. Those who thought like that are now either kneeling before the throne, or are now pale skeletons drawn upon the city walls. You and Theresis, the army you've led has devastated this city. No matter how you claim you and the vampire are different, you're both invaders here, hands dripping with blood. You seem to misunderstand, Countess of Rhode Island. I'm not solely drawing lines between myself and the Prince of Blood. Yes, in a certain respect, his predilections disgust me. But I, like him, do not work the way all the kings of the court do. When they stand in front of you, they see Her Majesty's successor, and they may treat you with skepticism, curiosity, or disgust for it. I can only feel vigilance from you. Yes, Countess. I simply see you as a dangerous enemy. Did he just toss a grenade at us? Hold on to the wall. It's his arts. He's using arts energy to make shockwaves. He's trying to throw us off the city. Can't stand straight. It's like every part of the ground's erupting. The drones can get near him, any closer at all, and they lose balance. Everyone, get behind me. Amia, are his arts fusing with yours? He's deliberately narrowed and sharpened his attack. He's breaking down the energy layers that form. What? You were able to resist the Draco's flames, though. His arts are targeted at Amia. I knew full well you'd come. You think I'd just sit here waiting for you? There goes another one. It's not just the ground, it's above us. Wherever red flashes by, it explodes in midair. Is Amia Can't you use mental arts? Can you try and just cram his head with some kind of rubbish? No. He's too well defended and he's too calm. I can feel the edges of his emotions, but right now his heart only thirsts for victory. He's stalling for time. Yes, his mind isn't set on this battle. He's just waiting for the vampire and defense artillery to destroy the resistance. Stalling for time. Descend conjecture. Doctor, I've always been more intrigued by you than that Catus who locked into the power of the king. You face graver circumstances than this on the battlefield. The choices you make always seem to be the ones more beneficial to the whole. Please tell me, what are you about to do next? Will you expand all your efforts here to kill me and eliminate a long-term threat? Or think of some other way to get around me and save those Victorians below? Oh. Mr. Ballin, what's happening up ahead? Partial collapse in the passageway. 3 fighters couldn't escape in time. Route around it. We're pressing on. Remember, no matter who we lose on this journey, the rest of us cannot stop. Up, quick, do you see the train? The Sarkas haven't found us yet. From the looks of it, let's think of a way to blend in there and grab the controls. Harmo, watch out! Sarkas crossbowmen, they've ambushed us. Rock, one step out and we'll get hit. Best we run back underground. Going back's riskier still. The commander says our only chance to get the train moving before the Sarkas destroy the space underground. But Captain Harmo gave his life. I'm in charge now. Listen, we have to start the train immediately after we interrupt their shelling. If I fall, then it's down to the next one. Even if just one man's left in the end, we have to get him out of here. I think this door is almost a lost cause, isn't it? Commander, we'll hold him off. Don't. You can't. You think we don't know that, Rhode Islander? Men of the 13th with me. Hey, you're running backwards. Don't be daft. The door's down. Shoot. Blow him up. Everyone go. We're taking that monster down with us. He's here. The smoke clears and a figure emerges from the end of the jet black tunnel. This monster brandishes no claws, has no twisted limbs, bears no sharp fangs, nor keen incisors, nor grows any extraneous feelers. He seems like nothing more than a young noble whose picture could be in the papers, one who'd speak frankly about Londinius' political and economical situation. If only the ground below his feet was not soaked in fresh blood. What a terrible smell. Your man fight rather too dirty. Monster! Don't you think of getting near the commander? My hand. Nothing even touched. Huh. Now this sounds much cozier. I wouldn't mind using the only thing of worth in your bodies to give the floor a wash. The vampire airily lifts a finger, as if holding up a crystal chalice or following the pulse of a piece of music. The shadows leap up from beneath him, latching onto the soldiers' bodies, binding about their limbs. What chilling screams follow are drowned entirely under the liquid that bursts forth. The concentrated iron reek boring into nasal cavities, bright red overflowing wherever one looks. This is the instant the people stood at the tunnel's other end realize. What chased them was no shadow at all. It was running blood, as thick as could be. Is this how warfarin enclosure used to look? That's the first thing that pops into your mind. Well, what the hell do you want me to think? It's better than being stark terrified, ain't it? Run. Run like hell. Where is the king of Sarkas? What are you? I come so far, go to all this trouble for an audience with her, and she cowers behind you frail little creatures, not even daring to meet me. Amia. He's here for Amia. You mean that king, whatever he said? You're sure that's Amia? Isn't Amia caught us? Forget it, it's not important. But Amia's not here. That's good. Fair. Even she might not cope best with this monster of a thing. What if her and the doctors almost won? What am I thinking? Even if they can shut the city artillery down, we're about to be torn to scraps here. Mina, what's our plan? Run. I don't want to, and I can't die here. So run, Mina. Run into the darkness before you. Don't think. These tunnels will take you anywhere you wish to go. You can't keep this deadlock up anymore. Doctor, step back. I'm going to condense stronger energy. I have to defeat Manfred as quickly as possible. No. Doctor, please trust me. I've matured a lot since the last time I removed my inhibitors. I knew I wouldn't let myself fall just as we entered Londinium. He's hoping you'll do this. His energy is densifying. It's like a net from head to toe. It's everywhere. The air's full of invisible originium crystals. He's scattering them as beacons for his attacks. No wonder. It's like invisible drones are throwing bombs all about. Mr. Feist, you and Closure have to get away. If we get caught up, there'll be nowhere to hide. You can use more strength than that, Cautus. I'm forcing my arts against this energy flow. Savor it. I formed this cage myself. Am I less able to shake it the more I struggle? Cautus, you said my mind wasn't set on this battle with you. You were only half correct. I'll deliver you bound before Her Majesty. The Sarkas in Londinium are loath to see an outblood flaunting her borrowed power from the king. I can't, and I don't want to command them. Of course you can't. But they shouldn't be commanded by Theresis either. When I stayed in Casdale, I saw so many Sarkas warriors. Plenty of them were mercenaries. After that, at Chernobog, I met them again. Even when they were being exploited by Tallulah, at least they knew who their enemy in each battle was. I knew they were giving up their lives for a future. But now, you've trapped them inside a foreign city. Ever since the moment I came, I've sensed their frustration, their anxiety, their bewilderment. You read my warrior's emotions. Then it's tightening? Are you angry? Cautus, has anyone ever told you you're too conceited? You're no more than an infected. You've never experienced for yourself what truly constitutes a Sarka's life. You simply sit on the side and watch. What makes you think you can truly comprehend our pain, our resentment?
It's true, I might not be able to comprehend. But the fire that blazes in your hearts, it's burned since the distant past onto the present, from the first raising of Casdell to today in Londinium, and even now, it's still within me. It burns. It burns incomparably true, truer than any illusion that words or arts could conjure.
Say your peace as you please. Say your peace as you please, infected. I know how this power of yours originates. Once a lie is spun, it will not be any less of a lie, no matter how convinced the liar is of it.
Sarkas, infected. No matter how we identify each one of us, we're all just ordinary people wanting to live through the unjust circumstances we're put in. But Theresis has brought everyone into a hopeless war. Look at the Victorians' Duke's armies outside the city. All it takes is for them to point their lances the same way. It could be Casdell, it could be Londinium, but all that awaits the Sarkas then is ruin. No matter what you're using to spur them on, bloodlines, authority, renown, it's those that are the total lies.
When did you reform your energy and make some scant space? I was not wrong, Kautos. You are very dangerous. Your power, your speech. It may be unable to shake our mightiest soldiers, but it certainly brings our enemies the delusion of hope. I don't want them struggling any further. You have no choice but to stop here. I won't ever let you enter the city again.
But I will crush flat this cage of yours.
Cage? I'm not even sure it lives up to that.
Huh?
Someone's altering the density of my arts. Wait, it's you again. Doctor, am I a little late? Finding a route through Alenium city walls, well, that's tough even for me. Luckily, I found a few outstanding helpers. Appreciate it. Thank you, Misery. Amiya, we're switching battlefields. Closure, position drones, Feist, zipline. And now, we jump. Minutes before.
Doctor, I've locked onto Manfred. Barely anybody's with him.
He's not scared of us approaching him.
You think he's overpowered? He looks like he eats fights for breakfast. Maybe Theresis taught him a bunch of moves. Can we seriously pound him into stopping the artillery like a good boy with just 5 minutes? No, scratch that. No I in this we. At this point you can't count me and Feist as part of your combat force. Throwing logistics guys into this fray be a hell of a way to waste lives. Amiya, you're all we've got. Manfred is a powerful enemy, but we've faced powerful enemies to come all this way, and we'll surely face more still.
Amiya, you keep all of Manfred's attention. Closure, Feist, ready our retreat from the tower. The one we're waiting for is almost here. Reprising old tricks. Did you really think I'd let you all escape a second time? A thread of energy comes rushing in, as if it's locked onto some position in the air. You almost feel the pain of that sword slice at the top of your feet. Until a shield comes down in front of you all.
Drop any thoughts of pursuing them, Sarkas. Your fight is right here.
White Wolf. I didn't imagine you would come face me again. So this passage is bi-directional. What a surprise. You sent them away and brought yourself in at the same time.
It wasn't me. It was us.
Behind Horn, a soldier stands up. And then a second, and then a third. And now over a dozen Victorian soldiers blocked the Sarkis' general's way. All of them camouflages dropped. They wear a dizzying array of different uniforms, the majority scarred in the roiling flames of war, some covered in mud and cobweb, some splattered by the blood of their own comrades. Their weapons are just as motley, some still holding regulation swords, some instead toting self-fashioned crossbows. But their faces all bear an identical vigor. This time they stand firm or fall once and for all. They will never retreat. A gaggle of leftover farces thinks they can beat me. You aren't fit to fight me, even with a weapon. Have you forgotten you owe your last escape from my grasp entirely to that Rhode Island Sarkis meddler?
You can stop checking all around, Sarkis. When you don't respect your opponent on the battlefield, you're the first to fall.
Your blabbering may well be more stubborn than your shield.
Watch the enemy's attack angle. Assemble behind me.
I wasn't planning to eliminate you, but I didn't know you would be so eager to hold your own funeral. Here I thought you'd have some level of tactical prowess, White Wolf. You bring a platoon of wounded men to resist me, and have your soldiers give up their lives, one after another? Is this your so-called professional spirit?
Don't forget we're just stood where you stood right now. This is the city wall of Londinium. Don't go assuming you've already conquered her, Sarkis. See for yourself. We're still right here.
And we go into battle. Alright, quickly before I click on the start button over there, let me just for full disclosure say, setting this up took way too long, and it mostly took long because I was trying to be cheeky and, like always, set up characters that were either part of the story so far, in this episode, in this whole episode that is, or, yeah. It proved to be a bit difficult, goddamn. Took way too long to set this up, I'm gonna tell you straight up. So if this fails, I'll probably just cut it out and tell you afterwards how many repeats I had to do until it worked, because oh boy, the fight is gonna be a clusterfuck with the setup I have. But anyway, before we do that, we have a description to add into our narration, and that is the description for Manfred. And I do love that his short abbreviation, designation, whatever that is just man. Goddamn. Anyway, a young Sarkis general, member of the military commission of Kazdel. After enlisting a large number of mercenaries in Londinium, he has assembled and trained a brand new type of fighting force. His arts unit, Tikaswurzen, was bestowed upon him by Thereses, the regent of Kazdel, who also taught him the swordsmanship he now employs. Quick little thing, I was trying to look up if Tikaswurzen is actually something, because it did sound kinda remotely German, maybe? So I tried to look up the word, but I literally hit no results on Google. So if anybody knows if that is referring to something, and Google was just being an asshole, please do leave me a comment in the comment section below. I would be very interested if that is an actual, like, thing, or it actually refers to something, but it might also be just a thought up name, so who knows. Anyway, this is the team, and even if it's a high level team, and you would think, oh, that should be easy to do, right? Yeah, the bombardment is not your friend. This battle is a clusterfuck, and you'll see what I mean once we go through it. So, I will not talk during it, I will let it run on 2x speed, but when Manfred appears, I will let the rest of the battle run at a regular speed. So, enjoy!
Manual 通りにすれば良いのでしょう。私の武器は誰にでも扱えるわけではない。想像したことある。友も故郷も二度と戻らなくなることを。了解。戦場に出たからには死ぬ覚悟を決めろ。私が聞いた同国をあなたに教えてあげる。進め。邪悪を壊滅。どけ。繁栄か、あるいは滅びか。あなたの考えはお見通しですよ。ここが戦場。よく目をかけて。さあ、私を超えてみなさい。こんなの悲しいです。自分のための戦いは大地こそが我が友。大地こそが我が友。面倒だな。私の声に応える。どけ。私がお守りします。認める。私を倒す。毛上がりもいいところね。こんなの悲しいです。戦場に出たから死ぬ覚悟を決めろ。配置完了。ロック18号最大出力。心配しないで。どけ。心配しないで。
And that is the battle against Manfred. Alright, I was hoping for a horn there, but sure. Works. At least it's a Victorian. Anyway, let's continue with the after part. You're already down to your last few men. On any past battlefield, Victoria would have needed at least 2 or more steam knights in order to hold me off. But look at yourself now. You're just a bunch of plain soldiers. Hold formation. Those who still have energy in your shields, stand together with me. Snipers, sustain fire. Pin him. Yes, Captain. I've said it before, no matter how strong he is, he's still just a flesh and blood Sarkis infected. His arts have a limit. You want to wait until I cast my body dry? You'll never live to see me exhaust my strength.
Blake! Horn, take my sword. Got it.
When they fall, they turn their gazes to you, still with hope. I never thought I'd see such brilliance in Londinium again. But how much longer can this fragile light persist? Horn!
Robin?
No cause for alarm. Falling here, just returning back to Londinium's land.
Sarkaz!
You fired all of your remaining ammunition at once. Well done. You've stopped me in my tracks for the first time. But after this, you're out of tricks. After you watch your comrades die one by one, will you lose the will to fight too, White Wolf? Rita, I can understand how disappointed you are in your father. Yes, a soldier's blood flows through my body. But just as Victoria invented steam trains, yet only decades later abandoned steam, modern Victoria has taken off the crown meant for people to lift their gazes at, and no longer needs soldiers like your great-grandmother or me to fight for her. There'll come a day the White Wolf, together with the Lion Padisha he accompanied, will be no more than indistinct images left in the history books. Your father's taken note of that. He's ground down his own sharp claws so the family isn't torn apart by the tides of the ages. But you're different. You grow in a changing Victoria. Rita's Commandos, you won't need to fight a Landtrawler's campaign in the name of the Aslan King. But Victoria is still your home.
Sarkaz, so long as you occupy our cities, I will always have a reason to fight. My desire to defeat you is shared with every Victorian.
Your shield is of little use now.
I still have a sword.
Your sword. Common as could be. You want to battle me with a sword like this?
Don't underestimate it, or me. You're so fond of remembering the Steam Knights. When you take off the armor that Victoria forged them, they turn out just to be Victorians.
We actually got inside. Why has this wall turned so soft?
Not bad. For an instant back there, I thought I was gonna get head painted. I thought I was gonna get my head painted over Londinium's walls. It was Misery's arts. He wouldn't see us hurt.
Right. Khalsa told me your brain was an important asset to Rhode Island.
My hands don't come cheap either. Come on! After that, I'm never asking to hitchhike with you again. Blaze carrying me everywhere is a way smoother ride than your arts. Am I right? Or am I right, Doctor?
I wouldn't say the Blaze Express is that comfortable. You'd better take a breather, Misery.
I agree. Misery? I saw it clearly. Manfred almost impaled you with that thrust.
That was just a desperation blow. He had no other move. You successfully provoked his rage, and that made him overlook my approach. I didn't even think I could fool him twice.
I didn't at all intend to... When he asked me that, I definitely felt his anger. That rage of his rushed at me like a heat wave.
If Manfred uses all his strength, anyone nearby would have trouble lasting for long. Best I...
Misery, I know you want to help that Victorian officer, but using large-scale matter transformation arts several times in one day is too taxing on your body.
It's okay, Amiya. I won't drop dead for a while yet. Besides, I promised Kalsid.
You elite operators make plenty of promises to Dr. Kalsid, don't you? Inject these emergency meds into yourself. The fight in Londinium's only just begun, and I don't want to see you off somewhere alone again, swallowing down all the blood you're practically throwing up.
Amiya, enemies inbound. Amiya, cut them off. Feist, tie up 6 ziplines to me. Closure, let's plant the bombs.
Misery found us a weak point in Londinium's defense system. We need to see this control room destroyed.
Blistering speed. White Wolf, this was your true aim, wasn't it? Fangs and claws as fierce as these, yet tamed by Victoria's noble etiquette. Was it really worth it?
Sarkas, wasn't your present appearance once packaged in so-called culture? I heard your people used to look very different.
You can try your hardest, but you still cannot kill me. So long as the city's defenses continue to churn... No, wait. White Wolf, you're only stalling me. You and Rhode Island are collaborating again. Do you know who they are? Do you know what that caught us, leader?
I only know they can stop you.
White Wolf, should you miraculously succeed today, you will witness a corner of Londinium's wall collapse with your own eyes. Is that what you want to see? From this moment on, the legend of Londinium ever standing may well no longer.
From this moment on, the fact you can be stood here means the idea that Londinium has never fallen is nothing more than a self-reassuring joke.
Damn you. If those dukes outside take note of this.
Are you aware? You're finally showing a hint of panic in your face. That goes to show my decision was the correct one. If this wall only exists to smother the screams of the Victorians from within, then it's already lost its founding purpose. You ought to let those dukes hear how our fellow citizens cry out under your slaughter. How much longer until we can go outside? Oh, it feels like this passage is about to collapse. Are we all going to die here? Don't look down and don't look back. If the fear gets too much, just stare at the way ahead. The signal light's still on. This is our hope that our soldiers lit for us. We wait for the light as it turns bright, and then we can catch sight of the sun in Londinium once again.
Their firepower's too strong. Rock, we can't get any closer to the train. The bombardment hasn't stopped. Can the people down below still hold out? How much time do we have left? There's been no word from the commander's end.
I believe in my family. That's the one and only reason I've kept on this far. Bloody hell, I can't get these things off me! That's not it. You saw how fast they were a moment ago? He's slowing them on purpose, like he's just watching how long we can run for. What kind of sicko is he?
Listen to the sound of your breaths, your pulses. Are you finally tired out?
Is this the horror of the Sarkas. The honor of the Sarkas. This isn't fit to be called a battle.
Battle? You seem to have the wrong idea. The king of Sarkas isn't here, so I'm left with no matching opponent at all. Would you converse with a meat beast about glory or honor, when you know full well that hunting them serves to do nothing but excite your senses, that their only ultimate service is as an entrée on your dinner table? You treat us as prey? You may be a Sarkas, but slaughtering like this out of the pure personal taste is still far too barbaric. Do not appraise me by your understanding of culture. It would be the most hideous kind of slander to me. Try and resist me before the filthy rabble pummels you into mincemeat here. I will borrow your blood to record your feelings at that door. All your fear, unwillingness, anger. Let them burst forth upon me to your heart's content.
Mina, get over here!
No.
Vina!
Morgan, you fall back too.
You're going to stand in front of all of us and resist him?
Yes.
You're no match for him.
I know.
And you're not planning to turn and flee, even if you'll be shredded in an instant. Have your flesh leave the dullest stain in this whole tunnel?
Only if you can all run faster than I can.
Why?
Because... There is no because. I just want to do this. When the city above us falls towards us, I want to be the first to embrace it in that instant.
If that's so...
The signal light in the passage seems to glow...
The signal light in the passage seems to glow brighter. Are her eyes failing her? Why is there starlight in Londinium's underground? No, how long have they gone without seeing the stars behind the clouds? Even on the surface. Siege blinks. She suddenly realizes that is no star. It is a button. The detritus that caked it has been shaken off, and now it is shining, and she has the exact fortune to know what it does. She was first brought underneath the palace at 3 years of age. Her mother carried her upon her back, using a tremendous paw to guide her in pushing this button. Mother meant her. Londinium subterranean sprawled about its own muscle and bone, exposing to the future liege its veins and arteries, filled with life. Over 20 years later, she has found it for the second time.
Bombs mounted at all nodes.
Doctor, I've got a retreat ready.
Move it! They're in here! Stop them!
Amiya! Damn it, how are they coming so thick and fast? Did Misery leave too late? Did they not stall Manfred? I'll hold them off. All of you go. Doctor, give the detonator to me.
No.
You won't have a chance to retreat unless I lock down these enemies. Once you've successfully withdrawn, I'll blow up this control room straight away.
No.
Doctor, we can't wait any longer. Think of these Self-Salvation Corps fighters, Victoria's soldiers, Lady Heidi and Siege's team. And every single Victorian being bombarded right now. None of us can hold on anymore.
Amiya, take my hand. Tell me when to push the detonator.
Doctor!
These black lines are everywhere. I can't see anything.
Now! Doctor, why are you in front of me?
Because I want to be.
I'm not the weak child I was anymore. I won't drag you down anymore. I can withstand these arts and these flames.
I know. You're so powerful now. Far more powerful than I am, probably. But no matter how many opportunities you give me to choose, no matter if we're confronted with the Draco's flames or the fiery light of these explosions, this is what I want to do.
Doctor.
Ooh, caught you. Wondered why you asked me for those 6 zip lines, Doctor. This is what it was for. It'll be hard to move about, but oh well, not as if you run fast ordinarily.
Fly my drones! How's that for a surprise, Doctor? In response to your demands, I've tinkered on my drones and finally developed a people towing glider function. There's a cap on its long-term use, but at least it'll get us safely on the ground.
Now's the time to dial up the explosions. The control room.
They did it.
How? How long ago did you tire out? You can't even brandish your sword now. You really were doing nothing but making a stand with all you had. Anyone else with your wounds would be in a coma 10 times over by now.
Now you realize? Slow, aren't you?
General, the explosion in the control room has affected the cannons. The batteries and the minor section of the wall structure have all been severely damaged. If we hang around here any longer, we'll fall. Notify all hands. Retreat. What about the soldier? I've defeated her already, but toppling her would require spending more effort still. And it's not worth spending the time here any longer. White Wolf of Victoria, you are a worthy opponent. Should you live to descend this city wall, then next time we meet, by my sword, I will send you to a death befittingly heroic.
Next time.
Will there be a next time? Londinium's wall is falling down, and so she endlessly falls too.
I did it. Until you all left. I did not fall.
Her blood flows out, and she almost loses the last speck of awareness she has. But her body is as if a part of her sword and shield at this point, harder than steel, unbending unless shattered. The weapon forged by Victoria still stands upon Londinium's wall. So the soldier she tempered to fruition keeps her watch upon it too, until a corner of it crashes to its city's ground, and she returns to the land that raised her.
Just how tall is this wall? Why is it like...
I'm flying up. Orin, can you still move? Grab my hand, quick!
Robin? You're not...
Yes, I'm not dead. I was lucky enough to grab onto the outside structure when I fell. And then Mr. Misery here saved me again. Come, soldier. You haven't finished your fight yet.
You lot, honestly. You won't ever let me rest, will you?
Nope. Orn, don't shut your eyes. Don't forget your soldier is still here. You can't fall.
Robin, you've turned as noisy as a certain someone now. Oh, forget it. I've never been able to do anything about you lot.
Her vision becomes clear once again. The city wall of Londinium is still there, and though its highest height is now adorned by the tiniest hall, it still seems as towering, as unyielding as ever.
What's that shaking? Artillery finally do the underground structure in? No, that's not it. This shaking's coming from underneath us. Mina, what did you do? I found a path we can walk.
Is this whole tunnel moving up? How? You'd think we'd know it could do that after living here for so long, right?
There are always some locals who will know more than others. That monster. Is it still gonna come after? It will. But maybe not today.
So, you found a new course to flee down? But of course. This scent, is it that feline giving it off? No, so-called royal families are no more than a lie. So-called to consolidate power and coin, so laughable as this nation's culture. Even if she is that runaway scub, the smell of her blood would be no different to any other feline. So this completely different scent. Interesting. Does Theresis know about this? You'll have no choice to verify for yourself. Oh, I remember who you are. You're that little disciple by Theresis' side. Even if your teacher was stood right here, he would be troubled to apprehend me. He's no longer fit to be my teacher anymore. Disorder of Cursecraft. So you've come too, Banshee? I thought you were in that city right now, playing games with my entourage. Trifling, unpracticed artists. They've earned enough to hinder my step. That makes things tricky. This underpass on the verge of collapse is no fine place for their royal court to congregate.
Am I nothing in his eyes? Just because I didn't learn my skills from Theresis or have any noble blood? This long-winded old man's genuinely pissed me off. I'm going to gift him 100 bombs as a farewell present. Any of you have any objections?
Just very quickly before I continue, well, I can't remember if he got mentioned so far in the story, in the main story at least, but he definitely got mentioned several times through both files and side stories, and if I am not completely going insane right now, I think the Banshee, aka Logos, has appeared somewhere already in a side story for a brief moment, but I am struggling to remember where, and because I don't really want to spoil me on anything regarding the next chapter and if he's gonna be in there, I'm not gonna look anything up right now or after this, but if anyone in the comments can deny or confirm that he has appeared in a side story before, even if obfuscated, like they usually do with models that they don't want to show completely, please do leave me a comment if you know, because I have this distinct feeling that I have seen him somewhere before, but it might have been so long that I don't remember. But yes, the Banshee is another one of Rhode Island's elite operators that works together with pretty much in the same vein as Misery and Ascalon from this chapter, and goes by the name of Logos. And yes, that was also W there. Anyway, continuing. Report. Rhode Island's people have jumped out of the control room. They hadn't caught us, so we couldn't snipe them. And the rebels in the underground tunnels. We detected an explosion from beneath and the Sanguinarch hasn't returned yet. Where is Horderer? He is severely wounded and currently unconscious. Assemble what workers remain and have them inspect the city defense systems and report the damages. We must be prepared to activate more batteries, and even the main cannons. Surround the remaining individuals at the station. The surviving rebels will be sure to pass through here. The scouts are reporting they've detected another group rapidly closing in to the station.
Manfred, don't blame yourself too much. You've already tried your hardest.
What are you doing here? Rockrock, take a look at the city wall.
The defense artillery's been shut down. Send a signal.
They're coming. They're all coming. But the Sarkas, they're all rushing this way. Stop them. Kill every last one.
If we can just repel the Sarkas, we can start up the train.
You're not getting away that easily. How's the rebel army coming from that way too?
What? Is that reinforcements?
A team's broken through the Sarkas' forces' blockade from the north side. Who called them in? Did some of the messengers we sent to the city center survive? Did they get to ask for help? You've done a fine job, my Sedan friends. You can leave the next battle to us now. We're more on the professional end. The way they work, they must have loads of experience.
Is that Rhode Island's operator? Break them up. Make a passage. Ensure the self-salvation fighters withdraw from the underpass safely. Snipers, take down those signalers.
It's Miss Montague.
Montague?
That name rings a bell and a half. Some novel in the paper or something.
Don't get distracted. No matter who they are, we're on the same side. We can get through. Quick, lead everyone to the train. Oh wow, Lady Heidi, we've made it! I told you, our soldiers won't let us down. They're her people. Did our messenger get in contact with her? To be more precise, it was Rhode Island's messenger. Dagda! Look, it's Dagda! That tart.
There among the crowd, Dagda sees them too. She throws down the Sarkas she's tussling with and rushes through the passage made with no hesitation, arms reached out to her partners caked in grime. Aww.
I was so scared I'd be late. No, you weren't. No matter when you came back, we could never call you late.
Bastard, you stormed off just like that, remember? I didn't even get to beat you up.
You're still in time to do it now. Hi, Vina, did you know she'd come back? I knew. I get you hid it from Indra. She'd never take help from noble mercenaries unless it was critical as is. End of the line type.
Stop gripping about me and let's get these idiots dealt with first.
I never stopped here. Vina, I didn't finish. You could have at least given me a shout. You had me wondering if Doctor was off in some corner again, even while we were being killed. I was all ready to take the Sarkas down with me. I'm sorry, Morgan. This won't happen again, I swear. Siege group, fully assembled. We just wait for the doctor's lot to come back, and we can all get on the out of here together. Everyone, we're back! Amia? Fancy coming in from the sky, all of you? We're touching down. Gangway, out of the way.
Grab the zipline. Don't crash into the train. It's our only means of escaping alive.
I've got the doctor held. We're all right. Safe landing.
We actually made it. Rock. Commander, is Rock all right? Everyone evacuated out.
We have more survivors than anticipated. It's thanks to you, Feist, and everyone you brought in from Rhode Island.
Huh. You see that whole bill?
No, you don't faint on the job now. The battle's still not done. If you can move, then come here and help me in the engine room. There are still Sarka's forces pursuing us. There's nothing they can do now. Because we'll hold them off here.
Right. Damned right. Us together.
Commander, the train's setting off. Already? Amiya, we're getting on. Alright. Go!
Amiya? Amiya, careful, the train's moving. Amiya? What are you looking at? The Kautos girl does not reply to you. Her body is still. Even her breathing seems to have stopped. You can tell she's shocked. She never let emotions as unveiled and intense show before the operators. This moment is incomparable. At the same time, the Sarkas chasing the train all come to a halt. They all turn their heads, looking in the same direction. A Sarkas enters the ruins. All smoke seems to part at her feet, all sounds of fire suspended about her. Only wind remains, growing stronger and fiercer. The ash laden on the ground is blown about, some sticking to her attire, some smudging her pale hair. She seems to not mind at all, only silently gazing into a point of the ruins. It seems to have once been part of the defense artillery. A jet black foul beast is there now, perched atop the still warm cannon mouth. Most likely disturbed by the train picking up in speed, it shakes off its wings. As if, somewhat in response, the pale-haired Sarkas turns around. She should have no sight of who is aboard the train, but her expression is as if she has recognized who is looking at her. Her face is so warm, yet her eyes are so filled with sorrow. The sorrow is so much, perhaps not all of it comes from her, but comes from the one who stares at her too. Amiya, are you alright? The Kautos girl finally comes back to reality. She still doesn't give you a response, and you're in no rush for her to give one. In one ear you hear the calls of foul beasts. You see a flock of them out of the window flapping through the air, rushing into the gale ahead of you. The train takes you rapidly from the station. The city wall, the war, and that pale-haired figure, all are left far, far behind you. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Is that the remnants of cannon fire lingering in your brain, the train bumping against the railway, or thunder in those gloomy clouds gathering not far away. The center of Londinium is right before you, and all of you are riding into this storm. Jesus Christ, that part. Anyway, even though I didn't, like I said earlier, didn't want to interrupt anything, several lines of the Doctor during this bit were not selectable by the player. I'll talk about my theory on that at the end of this whole narration, but first, we now go into our little book. And we're gonna go all the way back here to 10.7. So, like I said before, and I think I showed it as well in the first part or second part, I didn't finish this entire thing since way back when on adverse difficulty. Therefore, several little things were not added to the pages of this little book. And it's mostly these little like trinkets on the right side that get added once you complete it on adverse difficulty. Some of them carry some interesting stuff and interesting stories, and you'll see in a bit. And because I haven't completed adverse from 7 onward, we're gonna go from 7, read the little additions here, and then continue properly on from 17 to the end. So first off, on stage 7, you get a little invitation here. A written invitation from Count Philip. Possibly due to changes in the date and venue, this invitation is void by now. Yep. Then on 10.11, a transport permit acquired by Heidi through due means. It comes with a full page of restrictive terms. On 10.15, which by the way was the very hastily written note by Heidi during the evacuation procedures, we have a picture of Bill. A photo of Soldier Bill. Seeing his picture now prompts the Self-Salvation Corps to look away with mixed feelings. Oh boy, that is understandable. Alright, and now we continue on properly on stage 17. First off, we have a note. We're on a train. Oh, and once again, just as a reminder, yes, this is written by obviously Heidi, but I'm not gonna do a Heidi voice for this entire thing, so excuse me. We're on a train for Central Londinium now. More of our fellows survived than anticipated. We're very lucky. Things were sudden. Still no time to get in touch with Ellerdale, but Rhode Island's messenger sent the distress call to her long ago, which should have a temporary safe place there for now. As Duke Camberland's daughter, Ellerdale has a cohesive pole in noble concentrated Central Londinium that no one else in the Self-Salvation Corps can match. Corps members are limited in movement in the Central District under the Sarka's Royal Court's noses. Luckily, Ellerdale has always been clear about maintaining the resistance. She inspires our fellows who were shaky by themselves. It's rare you get a noble like her. She calmly acknowledged months ago that Parliament no longer existed. At present, it's only the Sarkas borrowing the name. The core objective slightly differs from Rhode Island, but they've pulled together into an upstanding force now. A lot of citizens who were hostile to Rhode Island's Sarkas are now comfortable chatting shoulder to shoulder with them on this train. That is very nice to hear. W came back with another Rhode Island Sarkas woman. She's never let herself look the friendly part, but at present I can confirm she is actively cooperating with us. She tells me it seems the Sarkas mercenary I was concerned for died a few days ago. I still remember his name, Schwab. A patrol at the factory caught sight of him once after I was arrested. Now I can be sure it was him who put W and me in contact, which was what let W make it in time to aid with Rhode Island's rescue operation. I owe him a thank you.
A few of Rhode Island's operators are being paid very close attention. The Banshee, for example. His very existence seems to put some of the Sarkas on edge. The Sarka's royal court surveillance network always seems especially acute at manhunting fellow Sarkas. If needs be, I'm prepared to provide him support at any time. Kalset already reached Central Londinium at some point in the last 2 days, but she can't work in tandem with the Self-Salvation Corps. I haven't seen her in so many years. I'm curious, even... Am I as tall as her by now? Brockrock's been crying awfully. I'm trying to console her, but really, I feel tears are a must at times like these. And on the right, a black feather. The black foul beasts have flown for the storm. And once you complete the hell stages, you get 3 extra little trinkets from this whole chapter. First, we get a public notice. In recent days, with security conflicts escalating, violent gangs in Sudan Borough have activated city defense artillery and caused grave damage to several districts. This is the first time Londinium's defensive artillery has fired within its own walls. The hour of sustained bombardment caused several plates to collapse, and major casualties were witnessed on scene. So yeah, that whole bombardment took place for a whole hour. Boy oh boy. Since October of last year, violent gangs who deserve no fame have persistently antagonized Parliament's new safety bill. Disturbed Defense Force patrol enforcements caused conflicts on multiple occasions and posed a grave menace to the stability of society. In only 3 months, over 200 counts of public violence have been recorded in Sudan Borough, placing it as the district of most concern with regard to law and order. As a vital light industry region of Londinium, the array of manufacturing in Sudan Borough constitutes over 90% of Londinium's total light industry output. Following this bombardment incident, a great number of factories in Sudan Borough have suffered damages, and forecasts indicate a return to normal production order is highly unlikable in the short term, with severe impact on associated downstream industries. Spokesmen for the Londinium Castle Association of Economic and Cultural Exchange have sternly condemned the conduct of these violent gangs, and in following indicate that Castle parties will aid in Sudan Borough reconstruction work so as to progressively return citizens' manufacturing lifestyles to a normal order. So yeah, propaganda. Misinformation. Anyway, number 2 is a part of a newspaper. And it says at the title here, a sudden fire interrupted the Victorian Theatre Festival Awards ceremony. Yesterday, an award ceremony for Victorian theatre held in the Arknights borough of Londinium was temporarily halted due to a fire alarm. At around 8 o'clock, the fire alarm was sounded without warning. The awards committee immediately activated risk management plans, suspending the ceremony and evacuating staff present. After confirming the fire alert did not pose a threat to the venue, the ceremony was quickly resumed with order restored. Numerous nobles and celebrities, including the Duke of Castor, attended the ceremony. After it was resumed, Arnold was awarded Best Actor in a Leading Role, his 3rd time enjoying the honor. Despite no casualties among personnel nor any proper damage, the award committee still received numerous complaints. The complaints criticizing the unnecessary fright the false fire alarm put them through. Reports indicate that the fire in fact broke out in a factory site next door, caused by an improved incendiary weapon thrown in a fight between local street thugs, of which one suffered second-degree burns, and several makeshift houses were destroyed. Eyewitnesses stated Hannah Indra Jackson and her followers were likely involved in the fight. Police are currently conducting a follow-up investigation due to the gang members' injury of Baron Grant. Hannah Indra Jackson. full name. Anyway, and the final note here is a telegraph. Signed by the Military Commission of Kasdel. At the behest of Her Highness Theresa and His Highness Theresa's, the Military Commission of Kasdel today carried out necessary attacks on the rebels in Londinium, and the last plate occupied by the rebels has been cleansed. As of now, the entire city of Londinium has been awed into submission, and all obstacles to His Highness's plans have been removed. The city's industrial assembly lines will work day and night in casting a victory for the Sarkas. Londinium continues to extend an invitation to you, my fellow Sarkas, who wander the land. After the war, the Sarkas will have a home to return to. Signed by the Military Commission of Kasdel. And that is all of that. Now we go into our first epilogue, but before we do so, tea time. Oh. Alright, so 1018. Reflection of an ideal. There was once someone who could answer all our questions, but now we must find a new answer together. Your Majesty.
Regretfully, I was late.
Does your Majesty share the same regrets I do? That we were not able to stop them here?
Manfred, back then in Kasdel, you would never speak to me so guardedly. Back then, you'd look me straight in the eye.
Your Majesty, Kasdel was nothing more than a cluttered ruin and a thick stack of blueprints. In all those years, you and the General... No, as things are now, there is no need to speak of the past anymore. Of past matters. Your Majesty has returned to the General's side. Together you shall rule the royal court and bring the Sarkas victory once again, just as countless times in the past. For me and the rest of the men, we need only remember this.
Yes. Even so, Manfred, I really wish to meet the girl.
Your Majesty.
Do you think a person dreams in death? I've dreamt of them often the past few months. Again and again, I dream of that ship. I dream of conversations with that doctor of few smiles. I dream of standing shoulder to shoulder with that silent commander on the ship's deck. I dream of sitting by her bedside every night, telling her tales of the Sarkas and this great land, lulling the girl to sleep.
Is the General aware?
He knows all. However, a dream is but a dream. Isn't that so?
Your Majesty, your cheeks.
It's just ash.
I thought...
I do not shed tears. Yes, why do I not shed tears?
Someone give this woman a hug.
Your Majesty, in the end you still allowed her to go to the city walls?
You are aware of the threat the King of Sarkas bears.
Of course, not even Manfred or the Sanguine Ark may be capable of successfully capturing the successor of that power. To defeat a Sarkas king, the safest choice is naturally another one.
Did you not intend that when you raised that suggestion to me?
I also remember that you nearly killed me when I first suggested to bring her back. Vomit-inducing, that's what you said. It's difficult to forget such fury.
My opinion has not changed.
But we still need her, do we not?
Only when the two of you stand together will the soldiers truly believe that the chaotic and dark era of the past is now history. They will never again question the legitimacy of your orders. There will no longer be two different voices in the Sarkis' hearts. To this end, we must get hold of the other Sarkis king as soon as possible.
Then go and make sure of that. The soldiers must focus on the war ahead. They must clearly understand that they are following a ruler who can lead them out of their plight, and not just some power of dubious ownership.
I know. You have never cared for that black crown. For your satisfaction, I have never stopped researching the Sarkis king either. Thanks to her, I've made great progress. Should we get our hands on that Kautos too, perhaps we will be able to truly understand the power of the Sarkis king before too long.
The Sarkis are not slaves to any man or power. If the crown of the Sarkis king is but another shackle, then crush it.
Your wish aligns with my own. It will be done, Your Majesty. I did not expect you to return so late, Your Highness. You seem tired.
Confessarius, you neglected to inform me that the Banshee was there too.
Ah, I thought you have guessed it.
A Banshee can be more trouble to deal with than a Nachtserer. What frightening talent. That said, next time I'll simply stick his tongue in a crystal case and gift it to his mother.
The Regent and the Nachtserer King will not be pleased, Your Highness.
Then they'd best not find out. Also, that Manfred, how dare he use those toys mounted on the walls on me? Half the filth on me is thanks to him. Perhaps I should teach him a lesson.
I understand your frustrations, Your Highness. Consider this. As a tiny compensation for the missing intel, I will suggest the Regent grant you the task of capturing the Sarkis king.
That bastard failed after all. I've been telling Theresis all this time he's just a soft-hearted coward.
It's fine. All of this is within the Regent's plans. Let them celebrate for now. After all, the best way to crush hope is to first let it come to fruition.
The nobles in the city grow restless once more. You're right. Let them continue with their folly. When the banquet is at its peak, the abrupt shifting of laughter to horror, it's tantalizing. Incidentally, speaking of the nobles...
Is there anything Your Highness wishes to report to the Regent?
No, nothing. Tell Theresis I await the next banquet.
He's obviously discovered something, but he's hiding it? These little moves, I fear the Regent will not tolerate him much longer.
Leader?
Any movement from the Duke's forces outside the city? Oh. The Nachtserer King will be returning soon. Once he arrives, send him to meet the Regent immediately. Also, didn't you mention Victorian nobles sent some messengers back? Let us go and meet them.
Sir, there's one more thing.
Is there? She actually chose to return at such a time. Yes.
Do you have a plan, sir?
Send a message to the Royal Academy of Sciences. It's time for a long-awaited family reunion. Uh-huh.
Liz, how are you feeling? Are we going too fast? Are you tired? I'm fine. You have to tell me if you feel any discomfort. Yes, my chest feels a bit stuffy. Is it because you're getting closer to home? No, that isn't my home. Shining, my home is with you and Nerl. I didn't want you to come back here, but I wanted to. I want to go with you and I want to find what I've lost. I can feel that they're here. Yes, Nightingale, we'll find them and they'll help you get better. You're going to get better. And then we'll return to Rhode Island. Or we could also go to Casimir's. We'll go wherever you want. You'll go with me, right? Of course, Liz. No matter when, as long as you want it, I will stay by your side.
Raising some red flags there, Shining. It feels like going on a brand new journey, while also returning to the starting point. Its high walls give Londinium the feeling of a giant cage, or even a sealed graveyard, but it is also the past and present home of countless people. This place hides many answers, yet it also leads to a great deal more questions. Where are we going? To a reunion or a separation?
Are we alive?
Yes, it looks like we can finally take a breather. I will not do crying noises, but I will point out that, yes, she is crying her heart out now, after everything has calmed down a bit. Rock, why are you crying? I've never seen you cry before.
It's nothing. I just thought of Bill when I think of him, I just...
Old Bill.
No, I shouldn't do this. The battle isn't over.
It's fine, Rock. We're safe right now. We can take a break and think of Old Bill and our other friends. Before the next battle starts, it's what we ought to do.
We meet at last. You are? Ellerdale, Cumberland. Call me Ellerdale. I'm Clovicia's friend and the Londinium Citizens Self-Salvation Corps officer in charge of Outeric Borough, that is, Central Londinium. Cumberland? You're the Duke of Cumberland's daughter. I was just a small child when father passed away. I only remember him brushing his sweet-laden beard on my face whenever he returned from a fencing match. This is the only memory I have left after 20 years. I heard that the Duke of Cumberland was betrayed by other anti-royalist dukes. Father walked the path he believed in for the sake of his ideals. I respect him greatly, which is why I'm here. You and the other nobles within the city, you've been fighting against the Sarkas? Yes, but our efforts have only just begun to bear fruit. I was extremely surprised when Isabella came to look for me. Not just because she's the Count of Manchester's successor, although the Count has always been one of our most steadfast supporters. It's just that I thought all the Knights of the Tower were dead. Isabella's return was a great inspiration to many of us. Of course, what surprised me the most was you. You know who I am? I was not aware at first. How could I be surprised otherwise? All these years we have never stopped looking for you, but there were never any clues. Many thought that you were long dead. I never believed so. I do believe many of those looking for me actually wanted to take my life. Perhaps so. But even among those, there are many who've changed their minds. We've seen what's happened to Londinium. People lost their freedom long ago. All Victorians, even those nobles holding their own tightly under their titles, must either become a slave to the Sarkas or tremble in fear as they hope to survive till the next day. Even deep in slumber, they instinctively cry out, "Your Majesty." Is there anyone who has not wondered, should that sudden execution all those years ago have gone another way, would Londinium be as it is today? Do you really not think my presence here would change anything? At the very least, it opens up a new possibility. Even though you appear to be contemplating, I know you have already set your heart on it. Oh? You sent Isabella to contact me. Is that not sign that you've prepared to lead us against the Sarkas? I don't deny that I've made a decision. But being prepared, you can never be fully prepared. You're not wrong. We should begin, Lady Cumberland. Allerdale, please walk me through our current situation again. I'm sure you understand that I have a lot to catch up on. Great, I love your enthusiasm. That's just what we need right now. Then, welcome home, Alexandrina, Your Majesty.
I don't know why they went through the effort of putting question marks there. Well, okay, I guess. Apparently we do not know or should be ambiguous of who the hell this is. I do find it funny. Anyway.
Heidi. Kaltset. Kaltset. It's tough to get a meeting with you. Did anyone follow you? Don't worry, I've carefully covered my tracks all the way here. How could I be your messenger if I wasn't even capable of that? You've already done very well. Your father will be proud. Frankly, many times in the past when I was close to failure, I would think of you and wonder what you would do. I would also think about what you would say if I could get everyone to make it through with me. But now that you're really standing before me, I suddenly feel that all those things I've imagined mean nothing. Heidi, you are well prepared. Indeed. At least, I will always be prepared. All of us will. By the way, are you in a hurry to see Amia? I've confirmed that she is currently safe. It's been a long time since I was in Londinium, so I have a number of matters I need to take care of. That's good. There's someone. She's been waiting to meet you. Kaltset, start talking. I need an explanation. You're alive. And what exactly do you wish me to explain, W? You're as calm as ever. Hard for me to tell if you knew before you got here or not. Whatever, it doesn't even matter if you're a monster or not. I've got bigger fins to fry. It's Theresa. It really was Theresa. How could you let Theresis get his hands on her body?
Amia?
Sorry, Doctor, I didn't see you coming.
You've been preoccupied since the train.
Yes. I guess there is no hiding it, and I shouldn't hide it from you anyway. Doctor, I saw her. Doctor, Miss Rockrock really was talking about her.
Kaltset said and W's attitude towards me.
4 years ago, Theresa passed away. Even though Dr. Carlson and W may disagree with me about the truth behind this, there's one thing we definitely wouldn't get wrong. That day we really lost her.
What's this about?
I don't know. But the moment I saw her at the train station, I finally understood why I felt those emotions in Londinium. Besides anger, sorrow, and endlessly infinite sorrow. Yes, to the Sarkas, anger and sorrow are symbiotic. It's just that they choose to dry their tears with anger most of the time. And all of those emotions seem to converge in my eyes. Even Theresa had never...
You're hurting.
Hurting? Maybe. But compared to them, those Sarkas shattered by hate and prejudice, this is nothing. I can feel it. It's too little. Far, far too little. I glimpsed it for a moment, but I was nearly drowned under that turbulent wave of emotion. What did Theresa go through?
That's not your responsibility.
Is it really not? Doctor, I said before I really couldn't believe it was her. But when I saw her with my own two eyes, I found it was very difficult at all to accept. Since I'm here, I need to know the truth. Not just the truth behind Theresa, but also the Sarkas within the city. What exactly did they experience that they would be burdened with such anger and sorrow?
And if the truth brings about more pain?
Doctor...
I'm afraid too, Amiya. But we will walk onwards together.
Yeah. Doctor, together. Let's look for the answer.
This is also an answer I need.
I apologize for interrupting you. There's an urgent matter concerning Alexandrina, Vina, as well as our Self-Salvation Corps. Based on a letter from Lady Heidi, we've confirmed that this matter relates to you. Doctor, is Edward Arthurius' relic in your possession?
And episode 10, Shatterpoint, end. So, it finally makes a return. Our relic that we have, or rather that Concept has bargained for with Wei and Wu all that time ago back in Londinium. Oh boy, what will that play into? Like I said, this entire chapter is slowly but surely very much so dripping into the Arthurian legend. But anyway, we will end today's episode obviously with the second epilogue of this, 1019, and it is titled Sparks Afar. And out from the ashes climbs a will, sweeping on a Draco's flames.
Next, turn your textbooks to page 132. Terran Calendar 31, the Empire of Hypergryph was officially renamed the Empire of Ursus. We have already spent 2 lectures talking about and analyzing this piece of history. Historians believe that the cause of the Hippogriff's fall from power was primarily its ruling class's corruption and incompetence, as well as the rise of Ursus and the forces of production that it represents. This war is often referred to as Ursus's Uprising, representing the ancients standing up against the Elders' authority. From this point onward, the legitimacy of the Elders' rulership across Terra gradually waned. Yet if we look back on this war from a different perspective, we'll find a set of questions that naturally follow. Suppose it was another Ursus race that had been ruling the country instead of the Hippogriffs, would the revolution still have taken place?
If, as the rulers, the Hypergryphs had not insisted on a policy of racial discrimination, if they stopped taking Ursa's wealth as their own and gave the Ursas equal opportunity, would the Hypergryph Empire's downfall have been averted, or would it have come sooner? What if the Kagan's cavalry never set foot on these lands? Hello, are you here to listen in on Miss Koshelna's lecture? Miss Koshelna? That's right, her lectures on Imperial history are very popular. I've been noticing young men and women such as yourself listening in from the hallway. You aren't one of her students, are you? You can actually go inside if you'd like. She's not going to mind if you stand in the back of the classroom. You'll be able to hear her more clearly. No need. Her voice is pretty clear as is. Okay then, this lecture is almost over anyway. I still have other lectures to attend, so please excuse me. By all means, please. You may not be able to find the answers to these questions in any textbooks, but I hope you will give them some thought. Let them occupy your brain as you eat, as you breathe, and even as you sleep. And when an idea has lingered in your brain long enough, write it down. I'm very interested in your opinions. Okay, let's wrap it up here. Enjoy your brief freedom until the next bell. Do you have any questions, miss? Found you.
Why did you get into the city?
To look for someone.
Why is this someone worth the risk? 9, you said it yourself. We can't get anywhere else, anywhere close to the dramatic cities while we're in Ursus.
We want to pass judgment on her, don't we? Before she talks, she needs an answer still. Without this answer, she won't even believe half a word she says herself, and neither will we.
We shouldn't be believing her to begin with. She went into the city herself. What if she makes a run for it? All the efforts and sacrifices that went into rescuing her, and all our plans about her going forward will all go to waste.
They won't. She knows very well that she has nowhere to go. Besides, as long as you still trust me, I can guarantee you still this. No matter where she goes, I will take her in again.
I trust you, but that's based on everything you've done for us in the past year. You're not like her. You don't talk big. This is something that all of us like about you. It's a good thing, and you should make sure you don't start picking up that habit.
Are you worried I'll be influenced by her? I don't think that'll happen so easily.
9, a patrol unit is approaching.
Stay hidden. Just as we predicted, in half an hour this route won't be safe anymore. She better come back in time. I thought I would have seen you much sooner. Tallulah. Koshelna. Couldn't have picked a more obvious name, could you, Cachet? Ah, names. Names are just a way to refer to people. If the sound of this name reminds you of a certain unpleasant memories, you can call me Violet. Never mind, your name is of little importance to me. Just like your appearance, your name is not worth remembering. Why have you come then, Tallulah? Because you want a definite answer from me? Because you want me to tell you that yes, Cachet has left your body, and you're just Tallulah and no one else? If that's the case, you will get what you want. I can tell you exactly what you want to hear right now. The question then is, are you willing to believe me? You want me to believe a black snake? Is this a new trick you're playing, Cachet? You gave me more than enough information to find you in the shortest amount of time.
I can only assume that you were luring me here. Have you gone back to our home, then? Our home, both yours and mine? That's not my home. It's nothing more than ground zero of a conspiracy, a nest beloved of venomous snakes. That's an awfully heartful way to describe it. But you read my letter nonetheless, didn't you? You remember the channels through which Duke Cachet received the Scales correspondence. Not even the secret police who took over the dukedom could figure it out. A letter sent 10 years ago, and its sender is tenured here at this college. I don't know if I should be gasping in admiration of how well prepared you are, or if I should be grateful that this channel stayed hidden for 10 years while your scales have long been reduced to nothing. Does it make you happy that the territory has fallen into such neglect? Tallulah, under your rule, they could have lived a much better life. They shouldn't have been torn to shreds by the Fourth Army. Stop pretending you care about them more than I do. Tell me, what is there in this small northern town for you to willingly stay here? Cachet, if I remember correctly, you preferred cities further south. Not only because the air there is more humid, but also because lands where you cultivated generations of authority are more suitable for your scheming. But not the tundra. The folks here lead a hard life, and they have plenty of worry about sorting out issues with their food and harvest. To them, the speeches you pride yourself on are like the artificial flower you wear, no purpose beyond aesthetics. Tallulah, Tallulah. What if I told you I'm here because your footsteps can be found in the tundra? I'd say you're feeding me nonsense. The history of humanity is a history of struggle. You remember, don't you? You applied everything that I taught you through the years to your struggle. If you remember all of that, then shouldn't Tallulah, the fighter of the tundra, and Tallulah, the woman who succeeded the title of Duke, be one and the same to me? Yet you destroyed everything that I built in the tundra. Did I? Who do you truly blame for this series of fatal mistakes in your heart? If you actually thought yourself innocent, you wouldn't have needed a year and a half to ponder how you should die. The very moment you heed turns, you will throw yourself into the next struggle. Tallulah, I know why you came to me. You want to use your judgment on me to judge yourself. You want to hear me repent so that you can start repenting yourself. What you want is a tiny, pitiable bit of mental comfort. Go on. You want me to go on? I thought. You thought I would let you witness my fury? No, Cachet. You don't deserve it. I've rehearsed everything you've said up until this very moment in my head, down to the very last word. A year and a half isn't that short, and I had nothing to do while I was imprisoned at Rhode Island.
So, we have a time frame. Quickly, I just want to remind everybody that when the story of this game, the main story of this game begins, it is literally the last week of the year 1096. Over the next 2 weeks, the initial chapter and Act 1 complete, both of them. So 2 weeks, short of time, or rather 2 weeks in general, are the time frame for Act Initium and Act 1 to be completed. And since then, Tallulah has been imprisoned in Rhode Island. And just as a quick reminder, Act 1, Episode 9, does begin at the beginning of the year 1098, so literally a year later, but this very chapter, probably this very story taking place at around the same time as what is happening in Londinium at the moment, is taking place several months later yet again. So we have a time frame of episode 10 being about a year and a half potentially after the events of Act 1 concluded. Alright. I hope I'm right, by the way. At least that's my interpretation from all of this. Anyway.
If you want to survive this meeting, you'll need to say something more original. Very well. I can tell you've gotten more patient thanks to that period of self-imprisonment. But I brought up the Thundra not because I wanted to provoke you. Take a look at this school. Look at the students' faces. They believe that the sunlight of May will melt the Tundra's snow. They also believe that Ursus, colder and harder than even the Tundra, will change beneath their feet. So you're sullying their innocence with your despicable ideas? You think I'm trying to find the next successor among them? No, my dear, I'm just a normal university lecturer. The only things that I impart here are knowledge and ideas. I hold no authority or wealth. If they want authority, they can fight for it themselves. If they seek conspiracy, they are free to find the most suitable techniques in my lessons. You want me to believe that the failure you experienced through me devastated you so much that you washed your hands of it all? Failure? I never thought of that as a failure. Reunion was not destroyed in the Chernobyl core city, and neither was Cachet's plan. Right, you managed to stop Cachet. The war he sought, the war that could have changed Ursus' history in an instant, never came to be. But Ursus still went on the trajectory that Cachet had set for her. A war is happening. The conflict between the council and the army intensified, and the will of the people is sparking new flames through each and every conflict. And I will stand atop the most fertile soil, sowing seeds to the best of my ability. I will guide, or perhaps I should say spur, these revolutions to take root. I remember you once refuted the education of the masses as meaningless. If a ruler is so inflexible that she does not adapt to the changing tides, then she is undoubtedly following a path of destruction. You still see yourself as a ruler. I see. You actually haven't changed at all. I almost forgot you hated that word as much as you hated Cachet's control. I told you long ago that I don't care who was in charge. How many times has power changed hands since the Ursus took those lands from the Hypergryphs? Tallulah, you are not me, and you are me, and I am you.
Persona?
What we want is an Ursus that can just spark fires from our hands. These fires will sooner or later engulf all of Ursus. No, not just Ursus. Victoria and all the other countries will be caught in the flames too. When the fire is over, will these lands become more prosperous, or will they be dealt destruction? Ursus has walked its first millennium. I will guide it down its second and third. This is the meaning behind the Black Snake's existence. The Black Snake is immortal not because I want to live, but because Ursus must live.
Interesting words. Changing menus.
The Aslan Hare has returned to Londinium? It seems that way. The Sarkas gave us this information in exchange for the Sarkas messenger we returned to them. In exchange? They're merely using us to escalate the scuffle among the dukes. It couldn't be more obvious, but we can also tell from their methods that the situation in Londinium has changed and the Sarkas are anxious. Did the Sarkas say anything else? Nothing useful. Ever since our spy's cover was blown, we haven't gotten much news from Londinium. Unfortunate. Right, it's unfortunate.
Fortunately, our losses are still manageable. Right. There is another piece of news that might be important. We caught wind of this from a Colombian arms dealer we've worked with. About a month ago, that organization called Reunion recovered their previous leader. You mean... Tallulah. If all the information we've received thus far is correct, she could very well be a Draco.
Meanwhile,
You having a laugh? No fun in here now.
why would I do that?
Give me a slap.
I'm sorry.
Smack me right now, otherwise I might think I'm dreaming.
There's a wall over there. Knock yourself out. Trying to ram it so hard you knock it down, though. Otherwise, you'll have some explaining to do to the country's mounted police.
I'm not sure what to say.
Are you really so shocked? You were the one who's been going, leaders got to be alive, day in and day out.
But I thought I could...
You thought she'd be waiting for you to rescue her somewhere?
Uh-huh. But it's more of a surprise knowing she made it out. Thanks, Shen. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have met Rhode Island. If I hadn't joined Rhode Island, they wouldn't have helped her get out. I'm so happy.
And proceeds to do a very happy cry? Which I'm not gonna do. But... oh boy. Oh, bagpipe.
No hugging. But I'm so glad. At the very least, a little less of a squeeze. Wait, Shen, does that mean you're gonna leave then? You promised me to help rescue her, but she doesn't need me to rescue her anymore.
Times like these, you think pretty fast, don't you? To tell you the truth, I thought about it ever since I found out she'd escaped. I've been thinking of looking for her.
Actually, I can kinda tell.
Shen Yushi never gives up halfway. We've come so far and finally found ourselves some clues. Bagpipe, I'll get to the bottom of this with you. Until the day the Spectre Force is exposed for all to see again, only then will I do what I should have done long ago. I will find Tallulah.
God. Shen literally her entire life has to play Varys Waldo with Tallulah. That is her life. That is her destiny. She will find Tallulah and Tallulah will disappear in the next moment yet again. Oh, Shen. Anyway.
Think, Tallulah. Think with all the techniques that you've learned from Cachet. Whether everything that I say comes from the bottom of my heart. No need. Will you kill me here then? You had to avoid the Royal Guard's watchful eyes so you don't have a sword. And so you must kill me with your flames. Will you commit such a horrifying crime in front of all my students, who have nothing but admiration for me? If I want to kill you, I wouldn't pick a method that would startle anyone. Don't forget, you taught me all of this. Will killing me satisfy you? If that doesn't give you the satisfaction you need, I could give you a second, if not third name. You're telling me that, aside from you, there is more than one black snake within Ursus's borders. You could also think that I'm trying to deceive you to live longer. Your new body is fragile. It wouldn't take any more work to kill you than it took to kill that old Phidia. What are you waiting for then? Quick, turn my body to ash and scatter it all across this dark hallway. Terrifying infected murderer re-emerging in college campus. That's the headline that will don the front pages tomorrow. You wouldn't mind having that on your reputation. I should point out that I'm not afraid of the patrol unit who will be here in 3 minutes either. But your new old friends who are willing
waiting outside the city, they don't stand a chance against the royal guards. Even if they begrudgingly allowed you to return to Ursus because of those in control, they wouldn't tolerate murdering anyone on Ursus land. Cachet. If the royal guards found out that the immortal monster, the mastermind behind the Chernobog incident, was right here, do you think they would try to take me in or turn their attention and blades to you? So, why haven't you killed me yet?
It's almost time. She's not back yet? 9. You're mistaken about her, aren't you?
If she doesn't show up when it's time, all of you will evacuate this plant.
And you?
She's wearing my handcuffs, and that makes her my prisoner. I will take her in myself. Sounds like I saved you the trouble then. Tallulah. You're back, not a minute late either. Is your business done? More or less. So, you want to know what I got out of her? I was going to spare your ears my long-winded grumblings. Good, you seem to have lightened up, even found yourself a sense of humor. So, what about the evil god? Did you slay him? She said that's not who she is anymore. And you bought it? No, but I am also not the old Tallulah who would think that killing her would solve all our problems. I won't let her out of my sight, and when the time comes, I will kill her myself. But I have a weird feeling about this. A weird feeling? An immortal evil god will die eventually, but I won't be the one to kill her. Ursus will kill her. Even now she thinks she can bend human will. We will prove to her though. One day the people will awaken and abandon the ignorant conqueror. And on that day there will be no more black snakes in Ursus. What about now then? Now, before we come back here for the last time, we need to visit Victoria. So you've decided to come with us? I'm your prisoner. I have nowhere to go except with you. Besides, you said it yourself. The infected there are waiting for us.
And so the Draco marches towards Victoria herself. My oh my. When will she appear? Who the hell knows? Will we have another extra epilogue relaying Tallulah and Reunion's march over to Victoria? Maybe. But we will see about that very soon. And oh boy, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited for the next chapter. There was so much shit in here. But anyway, let us quickly go over all of our things here. But before I do, once again, thank you all for listening and watching. Apologies for the little bumps in rereading parts. When the text is written in this like high noble aspect, ugh, I will always stumble. I always stumble over some words, but the like high posh standard voice, ugh, I can't. But anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like this episode, please consider leaving a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. There is a lot more, and we will continue this literally on Friday to Saturday when this new chapter drops, so stick around. It's gonna be exciting! Anyway, let's go over several things very quickly. So, like I said at the beginning, I opened up the Discord for the community. If you want to join it, link is in the description of this video. Currently, it's a bit barren, obviously, until more and more people join in, but you'll probably have an easier time to follow around with video releases, the weekly schedule and plans for YouTube, and also the weekly schedule for the Twitch streams, which as of tomorrow, literally, or rather, no, not tomorrow, day and a half, roughly. Yeah. Then I have on Wednesday, I'll be streaming over there the release of Honkai Star Rail if you wanna join in and see those shenanigans. Personally, very much looking forward to that game, especially because the director of the game is a big Legend of Heroes fan, and from what I've seen a bit about the combat, and I've kept myself very in the dark about that game. Oh boy, does it have that Legend of Heroes feel, and oh, my favorite franchise has inspired another game. Anyway, that will be for Wednesday, so drop by. Links are in the description. So, my thoughts and stuff about this chapter. All I can say is, oh my god, so much shit happened, and the meeting between, well, sort of meeting, at least eye contact was made between Theresa and Amiya, and oh boy, I hope there's gonna be more to that, cause oh my god, I wanna see the two of them actually talk, cause that is gonna be heart-wrenching. Oh shit. But yeah, this whole chapter beginning just with the full-on confirmation, like we got a tease earlier in an earlier episode that she might be alive, or at least we got a tease of her like hair and horn, I think the picture was. Like floating in a tank of water. And the beginning of this chapter, we literally got the confirmation immediately at the beginning that she's alive. They brought her back through some means, but she apparently doesn't remember much about her past. It's more like flashes going through her head, so it's very interesting. She's kinda in a similar boat to the Doctor, isn't she? The Doctor not being able to remember anything, and pretty much forming a new personality on what could only be described as muscle memory or lingering memories of the previous Doctor, building up the new personality now, which is also an interesting aspect. But oh god, I literally wanna see in the next chapter Kal'tsit, the Doctor, Amiya, and Theresa just face to face at some point. Even though I have a dreading feeling that Theresa is gonna be part of that meeting, and oh god, that's gonna be a thing, isn't it? But anyway, so much shit was here in this chapter, especially here again at the ending. I said I'm gonna talk about it, and I do want to talk about it. There were several moments where we as the player were not in control of what the Doctor was saying during certain moments. That one moment where they escape from the explosion of the control room is literally that moment where, for the first time in the main story, we do not have control of what the Doctor is saying. He, or rather they, are just saying that to Amiya. And the way it's worded, like, could mean many things, but I have a lingering feeling, or idea rather, that that maybe now, a year and a half after, potentially a year and a half after waking up, the old and the new Doctor have finally started to properly merge into one single person. And I do wonder if that is the case, how the story will progress further with the Doctor. If there's gonna be more moments where, like, the old aspect of the Doctor shines through and talks. Especially if a meeting with Theresa actually happens. If the old Doctor will somehow, like, peek through just to talk to talk to Theresa. But we'll see. Very interesting. That originally, reading through that caught me very off guard when they didn't give you the opportunity to. And it's very interesting to see, especially, again, in that very same moment. A couple of lines are being set without us having control of selecting the lines. But literally after that, you get immediately a prompt to select that one line that is on screen. Which does kind of like hammer away to me that the idea of the old Doctor being there talking to Amiya, not the new one. Even Amiya is a bit taken aback by the words the Doctor prompts at her, so maybe? Because, again, as a reminder, I think the only place ever we've seen the Doctor actually talk without us having control is where the Doctor is being treated as an NPC. And that is in either stories that are taking place in the past, which one of them being Darknight's Memoir, but if I remember correctly, in Darknight's Memoir, they don't say a thing. They're just there and they appear on screen. I think they didn't say anything. Maybe there was a line or two and I'm just forgetting. It's been a while. But the only other place that I do remember that the Doctor actually talks in is in one of the Vigilo episodes, which is like a flashback sequence halfway through it, and you see the Doctor talk to Ace in the past, and it's that's a very wholesome episode. Again, if anybody has not yet watched Darknight's Memoir, A Walk in the Dust, and Vigilo, the links to all three narrations are in the description of the video. All three of those are super important going forward, so I would highly recommend to listen to them, especially Vigilo, to get a better sense of the Doctor. But yeah, we've also seen several characters finally appear. First off, we got treated to the entire menagerie of evil, as I call them, of these Sarka's royal court. And oh boy, those are individuals. No idea. Manfred is probably the least terrifying one out of them. Every single other one is like, well, I don't want to be in the same room as this person. Can I go, please? But yeah, interesting. Let's see in the next chapter which one of them gets more development. Our very, very high-nosed vampire boyo here that we've seen at the end. Oh boy. I hope he gets a bit more screen time during the next episode, but we'll see. But yeah, Theresis didn't get much screen time, but I'm highly suspecting that the next chapter will bring him more to the forefront. The Confessarius, the guy with the golden mask and white horns that we've seen, I don't really... I mean, I cannot confirm or deny anything, but the way he said it, it could be either just meant as a symbolic thing, but because of a bit about his face and I guess eye color, I have a suspicion. Is he maybe like a brother to Shining? Maybe. I'm not asking for a confirmation, by the way. I'm not asking for a confirmation, but that is currently my theory, that he might be a brother, either a brother to Shining, or all the albino Sarkas might call themselves brothers and sisters inside of the Confessari, or the leaders of the Confessari just call themselves family altogether. No idea. But interesting. Then, like I said earlier as well, at the beginning of the episode when I was doing the recap, Mandragora, well, she essentially has disappeared now. We don't know what happened. They intentionally kept that ambiguous, so I'm wondering what's gonna happen with her, if she is still alive. I presume she is. Usually we get some kind of confirmation that a adversary or friend dies, like a concrete one. So this one is, I'll say, 70% alive, 30% dead. But yeah, interesting. Wonder if the leader, as they always call her, will have more of a front and center position during the next chapter, or if she will appear more. I do know that she should be very present during the side story for Reed Alter, considering that one is pretty much about Reed, so we'll see when that one comes. That side story should be soon out as well. But yeah. Then Ascalon. Ascalon appearing finally in the story made me very, very happy. We've got actually to see so many elite operators recently, in the recent couple of months that we haven't before. Like, Banshee is apparently part of the story now, and again, we'll see if he actually appears in the next episode properly. Ascalon in this chapter, Mechanist in Dorothy's Vision, and several others we have already known, but still, good that they are finally showing us the elites that we have not seen before, but only heard about in, like, telling, so good shit. But yeah, I don't know where the story is gonna go from here, outside of a direct confrontation with the Sarkas in Londinium. So, we'll see when that chapter comes. I am very curious about the very specifically circularly shaped cloud above the tower. That is very ominous, and I wonder what that will mean. But yeah, I already said at the end of the Neural story recently that I did the narration of, and that is concerning Shining. I wonder if at some point Shining, and we've seen it in that little section here right at the end, that when Shining was talking to Nightingale, she had a very little moment of hesitating to give her a reply as to, yes, I will go with you. Because probably still being insecure of what the hell will happen when she goes into the city and meets, probably meets the other Confessari in the city, so who knows what will happen there. Not gonna lie, bit concerned about what might transpire with the meeting, but we'll see about that. Then, considering obviously that the trailer is out for the next chapter and the poster for the next chapter is Siege, essentially in the middle, I'm just gonna presume that the story going forward is gonna be very Siege-centric for the next chapter, which I am personally very happy about. Will be very nice to see her character being developed. Potentially, we've already had several moments throughout this story where we have like flashbacks to her childhood. So who knows? Maybe next chapter they're gonna double down on that if it's so very centric about her. And finally, what can I say? This chapter actually being our confirmation that Ines is alive, made me very happy. When I will not lie, when Hoarder did say just moments in the story before that he killed her, I was like, nah. Even originally reading through it, like, nah, I don't think so. Like, his entire behavior the entire time is very like sus, for lack of a better word. Like, is he actually working with them? Is he not actually working with Manfred? Are they that buddy-buddy or are they not that buddy-buddy? It was very weird considering how determined they were, him and Ines in Darknight's memoir, about their plans and stuff, so it was very weird the entire time. And when he told W that he killed Ines, that was, I think, the first time where I thought like, nah, I think there's something else going on here. And yes, there were several moments, I think there were several moments before that as well, if I remember correctly, that are like signaling that she is still alive already. So her appearing was not really a surprise to me, but I was happy to see that she is actually still there. And we'll see if she gets a bigger role. I know, by the way, obviously, that she's gonna be a operator. That is impossible to avoid. Why is the game so far ahead in the Chinese clan? Could they have not really caught up to it? Anyway, grumbling about that aside. Yeah, interesting. And yeah, of course, W appearing in the story was, how to put it? It wasn't really a surprise, but it made me happy that she actually appeared in the story and was helping in her very own crazy way. Crazy W. But yeah, made me very happy to see that she is actually there and cooperating. Oh boy, she's also very pissed at Kalsit right now. Oh god. Oh, that will be a talk. Then when it comes to what's it called? The Self-Salvation Corps members, well, Feist will be a recruitable member with this very episode, so expect a poll video on Friday 1st. I already know that Dagda is, well, I think she's also on the banner. I think she's also on the banner, but she's also a free unit, a free 5-star, I think, unit from the story itself. So she's gonna be pretty much like Heidi this chapter. But Heidi is, I don't think Heidi is, yeah, Heidi is not pullable, but only obtainable through this single chapter here. So will be interesting. I guess only one copy of Dagda is then in the story, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on Friday. I haven't seen anything, obviously, and keeping myself blind to that. But we'll see. Personally, I don't have, when it comes to story in general, I don't really have any like big theory of where the story will go. I guess we'll have to see. This is one of those rare stories where I cannot really predict. I can predict individual characters to some degree based on stuff that was said, but I cannot really predict the big plot points, what's gonna happen and what is going on. The one thing I'll say is, it is kind of very obvious that Theresis is doing some kind of probably Sarka's ritual in the middle of Londinium through that tower that they are occupying. So yeah, there's something happening, especially because they apparently have an airship or something. So oh boy, that's gonna be a fun romp, right? But yeah, I think that covers most stuff. I need a break. I need to drink something and I need to chill my voice. I am still suffering from 8 days of straight recordings for Neuralite at this point. I don't know, probably it was audible in my voice throughout this entire thing. I hope it wasn't, but ugh, that thing is still killing me. Oh, one thing that I do know about the next chapter is I think we have something similar to this little book once again. I don't know obviously what it's called, but I've seen some kind of icon, so maybe if that's gonna be the case, I'll just say it right here. If the next chapter has this similar thing of going through story standard and adverse difficulties, for the sake of narration, I will go through the thing in what's it called? in standard mode first, so I can get the story out, and then for the finale I will probably complete, or in the meantime I will just keep completing stuff in the background and add stuff to it. Also, while I'm talking about it, so the release schedule for the story is pretty much gonna be like on the first day I'm immediately gonna start reading and recording the first part, and then every consecutive part will probably be like 2 days apart from each other, because I'm gonna take my time properly reading, preparing, and then recording, you know, not gonna kill myself like I did with Nerl. But in the meantime, we will have several operator records, which I'm gonna be working on and pointing out. I can't remember if it was this, but I do know that Rock is getting an operator record. I can't remember if it was with this story or something else later down the line, but I know she's getting one. But in general, like I said, or didn't I say? I can't remember if I said it, but just in case, the 2 characters that I had left over for file readings to flesh them out a bit for the story were Indra and Rock essentially here, at least from the available ones. And obviously I didn't have enough space to add them in, but potentially in the future I will put them into certain endings of the episodes for the parts for the next main story episode. And especially if Rock has a operator record with this one. I can't remember if it was this one or our next one, so sorry if it's escaping me right now. But if she does have a operator record, I'll probably include it with one of the episodes wherever it fits best in. So we're gonna have a bit of bonus material there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I am very excited. This week is very exciting for multiple reasons. Big story release for this game, another game releasing that I've been looking forward to, and yeah, stick around. Anyway, I think this is enough talking, which means that we are gonna do the thing that I said at the beginning, and that is we are gonna transition now into the EP for this very episode, and therefore, all I can say is thank you all for listening and watching. If you like this, please consider leaving a like. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. If you will be playing yourself Honkai Star Rail, I wish you all the best. I hope you have fun. I probably will. So stop by the streams. It will be a fun time. And I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. And I will see you in the next part. Until then, bye-bye.